For this project I will create materials using the Megascans material presets. It's a fast and efficient method for working with architectural projects. There is no need to waste time and create your own material from scratch. The Megascans library has perfectly customized materials that will fit in 90% of your workflow. To load material presets into the scene, it's enough to add any asset from the Megascans library. Open Quixel Bridge and log in with your Epic Game account. Now let's find a good concrete material for the road. This one. Click Download and then click Add. Material has been added to the project. Now the MS Presets folder has also appeared in the content browser. This is a set of presets of customized materials for various tasks. Before I move on to working with materials, let's understand the types of textures. Unreal Engine has two main types of textures: virtual textures and regular. Virtual texturing is a new type of texture streaming. This type is especially useful for large textures, such as 4K or 8K. The basic idea of virtual texture is to take big textures and divide them up into tiles of a fixed size. Virtual texturing has the advantage of saving resources, but is not a replacement for regular texture. For example, it makes it possible to use huge textures. Let's see how it works. I will add a 4K texture with 1:1 aspect ratio to the project. This texture is immediately imported as virtual texture. Import another texture into the project. This texture has a non-standard resolution and a different aspect ratio. Texture imported as a regular texture. I'll add another one with 1:1 aspect ratio but less resolution. It's not a virtual texture, but it can be converted. Right-click Convert to virtual texture. Next you need to select a resolution. I'll choose the original resolution. I can also reverse convert virtual texture to regular. The texture that had non-standard size and aspect ratio cannot be converted. A warning has appeared. Therefore, it's important to use textures of standard sizes. Another important point if the parent material was created using a virtual or regular texture. In this case, it will not possible to use a regular texture in material instance for virtual texture and vice versa. Let's take an example of the Megascans presets materials. Here materials are prepared separately for virtual and regular texture. From the parent material for virtual texture, VTSign, I will create a material instance. I'll try to replace the virtual texture in the albedo slot with a regular texture. It doesn't work. I'll try virtual texture. It works. Now the same with the material for the regular texture. I hope you understand how it works. Let's get back to the project. Find the MS Glass Material folder. Material Instance. It's a well-tuned glass material with many options. Let's use it for the windows of the house. But before that, let's adjust the quality of the reflections. Go to the settings of the exterior post-process volume. Reflection tab. Method Lumen. Activate high-quality translucency reflection. These high-quality reflections require more system resources. Ray Light Mode changed to Hid Light for reflections. Reflections have become even better. Go back to the glass material preset and create a new material instance from the parent material. Give a name. In the Materials folder, create a new folder named Instance. It will store all material instances. Move the created copy of the material to the new folder. Apply the new material to all windows of the house. This material looks better. Now I want to add a distortion effect to the material. In real life, glasses are not perfect and have distortion. This is especially noticeable in high-rise buildings with a lot of glazing. Let's import into the project the texture I prepared for this tutorial. Go back to the material and activate the normal slot. Place the texture in it. There is distortion on the glass. It needs to be configured. In the material instance settings, find the normal strength parameter and set the value to 0.05. Now I need to rescale the normal texture, but this material does not have such an opportunity. Let's add it. Open the settings of the parent material. Here I need to find the nodes responsible for the normal map. Double-click on the MF Frame Blend function. Next, I need the MF Window Normal Strength function. Now, in the chain before the texture sample, you need to add the nodes responsible for the texture tiling. Draw a new node from UVS and find Multiply in the list. Connect the texture coordinate node to pin A. Pin B promote to parameter. Set the name to text normal tile. Click Apply. Go back to the material instance. The created parameter appeared at the bottom. Activate it and set the value to 0.1. Now the distortion effect looks good. Let's go back to the Edit Concrete material. First change the View mode to Lead to return the display of materials. Apply it to the road. Let's find another concrete material for the curb from the Megascans library. Keep adding materials from Megascans. Material for the path near the house. Material for stone slabs. Let's go to the material settings and set it up. Lower value tiling X and tiling Y to increase texture size. Now I need a stone material for the facade. I think this one will fit. I want to replace the stone texture with my own. Create a new folder. From the files for this course, import the white stone texture into the project. In the material settings, replace the albedo texture with a new one. Adjust the texture scale using the Tiling Offset tab. I want to make the texture darker. Activate albedo controls and decrease the brightness value. The material is ready. Now I need a metal material for the facade elements. This one looks good. Apply it to the all metal elements of the facade. Set up the material. Reduce the best specular value to 0.3. Brightness to 0.9 to make it darker. I will also set the material for the window frames. The metal material on the facade needs to be adjusted. Due to the strong reflection, white streaks of glare appear, which can be seen from a distance. Go to Material Instance Settings. Activate Max Roughness and bring the value up to 1.5. Brightness return to default. I will add wood material. This one will good. I just need a template. Before I move on to customization, let's talk about textures. Texture slot named ARD. It contains a texture of an unusual color. Open parent material. Let's look at the structure. Here is an ARD texture and it has several channels. The red channel is connected to ambient occlusion and the green channel is connected to roughness. Now let's look at the texture. It has different monochrome textures on different color channels. This is done to better project optimization. I'll show you an easy way to create the same texture. I have two textures for ambient occlusion and roughness. You can use the free software GIMP to create the textures. First, drag and drop the first texture into the window. Next, go Color, Components, Decompose. The texture is divided into channels. Drag the second one over this texture. Rename channels. Color, Components, Compose to combine the channels. Here you can change the channels. Done, textures created. Save it. Import textures into the project. Replace the standard textures in the material with new ones. Apply material. Go to Material Settings. Rotation angle 0.25. This equals a 90 degrees rotation. Adjust the saturation, brightness and contrast settings. Max roughness and base specular to achieve the desired result. From the MS Surface Material VT preset, create a new material instance for the roof. The ending VT stands for Virtual Textures. This means that this preset only works with virtual texture. I will move a new material instance to the instance folder and import the roof textures into the scene. Add new textures to the material and set it up. Create another material for the black stone. I will take the material of the water in the pool from the standard content of the engine. Check in the content browser settings that you have activated the visibility of engine content and plugin content. Select the engine folder and type water in the search. I'll take the material MIPool01. Keep creating materials. Now the material of the facade board. For the pool, I will use the plaster material for the Megascans library. Now I need to create an emissive material for the pool lighting. Create a new parent material. Right-click in an empty field and find constant vector. This will be the emissive color. Now create a multiply node. This node will be responsible for the strength of light. Pin B promote to parameter. Set a name. Constant vector convert to parameter and give a name. Plug in pin A. Multiply plug into the emissive color slot. You can immediately set the starting color and power of intensity. Apply changes. Now create a material instance from this material. Apply the material and set it up.